Hello YouTube. Today I would like to uh, tell what my training split would look like. Uh, Training split which I will be doing in the summer, obviously. So first of all, we need to talk about the limitations I will have. Of course, like I have so much obvious injuries that being able to train hard every single body part is like wouldn't be true, wouldn't be possible in the next year. I think like I will only be able to manage to heal from all of that uh, in 8 months at best. I will need the time. But this summer, I'm able to train arms. So what I mean by that is I'm able to do biceps, forearms, and triceps. Um, However, I could do only uh, for forearms and biceps. I could only do neutral grip variation curls and some grip fork. So hanging bar hanging, farmer carries, shit like that. And for triceps, I will be able to do pretty much everything I would want. Um, so, and this actually, while it sucks that I only could train my arms, it also could be quite enjoyable and fun for me because this is obviously the muscle group that I was struggling to gain on size the most because my wrists were limiting me every time I tried to do some curls, do some tricep extensions. But now, actually, when I learned to cope with it, to prehab it in a certain way so it wouldn't limit me, like this is no longer a problem. So now I'm actually able to, I will be able, and from the past few weeks of training, I was successfully adding reps, like 2 reps every week. I was adding like that. So uh, pushing progression wouldn't be the problem. And another plus of it is that I could raise the frequency a little bit while I train in a sense only that portion of the body. I could train it a little bit more and get away with it than in case where I train the whole body, because when you're training the whole body, your body like need to recover all the damage from all the fibers. And when you're stimulating only your arms, it is really like your body could handle more more targeted stimulus at this, so it could recover uh, your arms recover more when you only train them than when you're training your whole body. No, that's not really what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that you are able to stimulate your to stimulate your muscles, your arm muscles more, and still recover when you're training only them than when you're training your whole body. I think it makes sense. I mean, it obviously makes sense. I hope you understood. But if not, well, so and when it comes to frequency, I will train my arms every other day, so every 48 hours, and I will do 8 sets of hammer curl variation. And what? 8 sets? I meant 3. I will do 3 sets of hammer curl variations, 3 sets of triceps, and that's it. And you could think, well, that's obviously not enough, but not obviously, it is more than enough. Like 3 sets, if those are really relevant working sets to failure, which I will do them to failure because I will able to do them to failure, even on this arm, without being limited by my wrist, my elbow, or my shoulder, because when it's warm, there is no risk of going to failure. There is only the benefit of getting more higher quality volume, which will push progression further. Like those types of sets, I believe, uh, push progression the furthest. There's obviously the possibility of me doing maybe 2 reps in reserve and instead doing 4 sets that potentially may be more safe and maybe potentially even slightly more stimulus from that. But I would really like to make sure that I am able to reach actual muscular failure. Even for me, like, it's a challenge to be able to do this safely on this arm, because on this, like, I could do it easily. I mean, without being limited by anything. Yeah, and I also just like to grind reps. And of course, I say to failure, I mean to failure within good standardized form. So my form looks the same, controlled negative pause at the bottom, like for 0.5 seconds, for half a second, and then explode up. And the only thing that could change is the tempo of me actually flexing the arm. So it is very common for me that my last rep takes like 10 seconds to complete. So I lower it for like 3 seconds, and then and also I really like to do longer negatives for the last reps, because last reps are usually the riskiest, and if you will do slow negative, it's actually it's better for injury prevention, because you're controlling that part of range of motion where the risk of injury is the highest. So I think that will really help me eliminating any possibility of accumulating too much wrist and elbow fatigue, which could enable me to push progression. But even if I do, like, uh, I will pump so much blood in there that there would be no chance for my tendons and stuff to not be healthy. Like, this is not a possibility. I pumped my shoulder, which were really fucked up. Like, I couldn't do that without pain. Uh, and now I could even, work with some relevant sets in that, with some relevant weight in this manner. In only like 2 weeks, 2 weeks of pumping already does this, and I was fucking up the shoulder for 3 years or even more. And this wrist, like, it obviously would be slightly tougher than this shoulder, but I will make it happen too, because I have broken this wrist when I was like 11, so it will be slightly tougher to deal with this, but uh, according to past month, past 2 weeks of training, it is possible. So yeah, rep ranges. Oh yeah, and rep ranges. I will do 6 to 14 generally. So some exercises I will do 6 to 10, some 8 to 14, some 10 to 14, some 8 to 12. It depends on the exercise. I think it's pretty good for arm development in particular. Like, I mean, it's even good overall, this type of rep range, because it gives you, uh, it pushes progression well enough, because the reps aren't impossibly high, like it's not 20 or more, it's 6 to 14. And it also is not low enough that the amount of volume you accumulate is not enough. Like the rep range, I pretty like it. Like it both good for, of course, it's mainly for hypertrophy, but it's also good for pushing progression overall. So yeah, that's it. This will be my method. I am determined to make it work.